Welcome back. This is your boy DJ Gary. Um, this is what we're gonna do. Let's have some fun. We're gonna talk about Virgo versus Gemini. Now, the reason for this video is I always was fascinated what zodiac signs seem either more creative or artistically probably superior. Uh, let's let me just say a couple of things before I start. Be sure to like this video, comment, subscribe. Um, let's let's try to kind of get in it a little bit. It is the early morning hours, so uh, bear with me. Okay, so I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to talk. Okay, here we go. Virgo versus Gemini, the key differences between these earth signs. Now, to be honest, I didn't always thought Gemini was air, like that's part of the air, uh, like a mutable air. So it's kind of like earthy earthy, or it's up in the air, similar to like Libra, that type of thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, let's get into it. So this article is January 8th, 2022 by Sub Ninja. Says there's a lot of debate over which sign is better than the other. Some say that Virgo people are more intellectual, while others argue that Gemini people are more creative. But the truth lies somewhere in the middle. There are some key differences between these two signs, from how they express their creativity to how they like to spend their time. Virgo and Gemini live in completely different ways. Read on to learn about the key differences between these two signs. Let me get a drink of water before I read the next. Virgo versus Gemini. The key differences. Virgo and Gemini are the two most common signs. These two signs share many similarities, but they also share some key differences. Let's take a look at their similarities first. Both Virgo and Gemini have an affinity of learning new things and need to take in as much information as possible. Both Virgo and Gemini find peace by staying busy with a list of tasks that need to be accomplished. Both Virgo and Gemini like to talk about everything. They always have something to say. Now let's compare these similarities with their differences. Virgo tend to be more intellectual than the average person, while Geminis tend to be more creative than the average person. Gemini like to make their own decisions, while Virgos prefer following the crowd. Okay, let me stop right there. Uh, mm, yeah, Virgo definitely, uh, rules Mercury. That's, uh, intelligence right there. Um, Now, the part where it says Geminis tend to be more creative than the average person, that 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 is kind of true. Uh, if you want to look at the music business, it was Prince, for example. He kind of like, when he first came out, he was just like, kind of, just kind of like a more in a raunchy rock uh, kind of guy. Like he was more with he wanted to be his own creative A&R, and he wanted to basically do his own thing. Um, he kind of like was like, well, I'm gonna plunge through these albums, and each album is gonna sound different, and I'm gonna switch it up. So that's why, like, you go to his first album, he has the afro. Next album, he has a perm. And the next album, he has his hair cut into like a punk rocker. Then the next album is almost the same, but it's a bit more styled. And then 1999, he's like his hair is permed up again, but this time it's more of uh, it's not a straight perm. It's more of a curly perm, and so he stuck with that through 83, 84. By like 85, 86, by 86, his hair was slicked back. And then, uh, 88, his hair is straight down. So, uh, you know, as far as creativity, yeah, Gemini's, I think they might have a slight edge. But like with Prince, each album was different. Uh, the same could be said about rappers who was Gemini's. They, Ice Cube, for instance, Ice Cube kind of came in with gangster lyrics and writing gangster lyrics for NWA, but then when he uh, goes on his own, it's more of a political uh, reverend type of style, like a that type of thing. Then he switches back to like a gangster, uh, a gangster flow, gangster style, and then go back to the political. So, and then he was able to dabble in movies, and he was able to dabble in, you see him with this big three, you see him doing all this stuff. So I mean, it worked out for him. He found different avenues, obviously. Um, Intellectual, uh, Gemini's. I mean, they do their thing. Kanye West is an example. Uh, he means well, but sometimes it comes out in a very chaotic, uh, I think sometimes misinterpreted, uh, that type of thing. Uh, Virgos, uh, do they prefer following the crowd? I don't think so. Let's try. I think when they see something, they tend to hone it as their own. That's what I believe. Like they take a look at something and they study it and it becomes their own. That's what I believe. Uh, I think you look at Michael Jackson. He kind of was like pioneering short films before. He wasn't doing videos. He was doing short films. You go back to "Can You Feel It" with the Jacksons. Just look at that video. That's Michael Jackson's very first creative um, thing as an adult, and he's like what 20 there. So he pioneered that, and he kind of like perfected being in control of what he was in control of. I think the thing is also like let's say like a Beyonce. You tend to look at the attention to details and really hone it uh, and really stay on it until it's perfected. So anyway, let's move on. Geminis are more likely to live in the present, while Virgos are most likely to plan ahead for the future. Hmm. Yeah. That is kind of true. Geminis do live in the present. In the present, that's interesting. Um, hmm. Yeah, I believe that. That's kind of accurate. Virgos are more likely to plan ahead for the future. Yeah, yeah, that's true because it's a lot of stuff I got planned for the future. Sometimes it's great to plan ahead because you like, well, I'm just gonna live in the present. You know, anything bound to happen. When you're not really got a plan. You know, uh, that's what I think. Um, I mean, Virgos are definitely prone to making plans, and Gemini's is like, what's happening now is happening now. You know, uh, like for Gemini, be like, well, I want to move to California. I'm moving. Phew. That Gemini is going to go to California and live there, wherever you want to join them or not. Virgo is more like, I'm going to be in California 5 years. I'm going to get this job, save this money, I'm going to get that Lamborghini, and then I'm going to be in the hills, you know, that type of thing. Let's see. Geminis enjoy spending time with family members, while Virgos tend not to socialize outside of work relationships. That can be true, uh, but sometimes it really depends on really the person. Gemini's uh, definitely love family, but also Gemini's like to be to themselves. So let's not get that twisted. Um, or Gemini's like to have like a bunch of friends. Like Gemini's will have like you know all these friends, 20 friends, and add more people to the crowd. They go into the club with three friends. They already picked up two more. That type of thing. But spending time with family members, that's that's a maybe, yeah, or friends. Virgo tend not to socialize outside of work relationships. I think because Virgo's more like into uh, into doing things that they have a microscope on, rather than uh, spend time with family or friends, that type of thing. Uh, Work relationships. I mean, Virgo gonna do the work relationship thing, and that's that. But when it's time to go go home, Virgo gonna go home. You know, how do these signs express themselves? Virgos are natural perfectionists and are never satisfied. They are critical of themselves and others, and they always strive for the best. That's true. That's definitely true. Because I would get something like a piece of clothing. I will not wear it until I get something to match it, to complement it. So that type of thing. Or I would sometimes do a video. I would do like 3 takes, 2 takes. I may have missed some important information or something, or I will record stuff and not upload it because of, uh, I'm conscious of what I'm projecting uh, in the videos or that type of thing. So uh, yeah, so I always want it to be even better. Let me see. Gemini's, on the other hand, tend to be more laid back. They care about what's in front of them and worry less what will happen in the future. They love to explore new things, which is why they typically don't have a fixed career path. Well, yeah, that's kind of true because Gemini got like 10 jobs. You know, Gemini is like the musician. They musicians at night, hairstylists in the morning. uh, on their lunch break, they on the telephone, selling insurance. They like uh, they running errands for uh, you know for people, that type of thing. So hey, or they're working at Starbucks in the meantime. So it could go either way. They they really live in the moment, um, which is great. That's an advantage right there. You know, their personalities also differ in that Virgos tend to be more introverted, while Geminis tend to be extroverted. Let me see. Hmm. Yeah. Uh, I mean, at times, you feel, Virgos definitely gonna feel that introverted, but it really depends on other factors. You know, Gemini definitely gonna go to the club and mingle, socialize, and um, Virgo's gonna, you know, pick a spot in the club, and, you know, pretty much going to sit there and keep it that way. Keep to themselves. Virgo people have a hard time expressing their emotions, while Geminis are more open with their feelings. Um, I mean, it's so. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everything is not for everybody to know. You know what I'm saying? So, um, why express it? You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep it. You know, it's either gonna give or it's not gonna give. Uh, Gemini's. I feel like Gemini's have more. I feel like Gemini's is not completely honest though with their feelings. That's just observation. Gemini people also live in completely different ways than Virgo people do. They love socialize, engage with us in conversation, but they don't enjoy being put in a box or a specific group of friends or family members. Gemini people like to feel open minded, which is why they sometimes move around quite often or switch careers after only a few years of work experience. I mean, hey, I give it to I definitely give it to Gemini's. You know what I'm saying? Like they they know they know what they move off of pretty much the current um they move off their current brain activity. You know, they're like, hey, if the house burned down, they're gonna deal with it when the house burned down, that type of thing. But Virgo gonna be like, hey, we gotta have a plan. If this house burned down, where we gonna go? We're gonna go to this hotel, we'll stay there for a week. Then we're gonna get this place. You know, okay. This is about the last part right here, so let me get a drink of water and end it. How do these signs like to spend their time? There's a lot of signs in the zodiac, but today we are focusing on just two, Virgo and Gemini. These two signs have different ways of spending their time. Let's see how these signs like spending time. Virgo people like to be alone with their thoughts. They enjoy being by themselves, often prefer solitude, which is why they make good writers and researchers. That's true. You know, I'm writing on the medium. Um, I'm great at research. Hey, Virgo people tend to be introverted, spend most of their time inside their heads, which is why they often struggle when it comes to socializing with others. This can't this is true. This is true. I'm not gonna argue with that. It's kind of accurate. Gemini people, on the other hand, love connecting with others, socializing with family and friends. They have a lot of friends and are usually fun-loving signees or signs that would rather have a good time than anything else. I mean, yeah, I mean, Gemini is Gemini. Gemini gonna socialize, regardless of the situation. You know what I'm saying? It could be a rainstorm or whatever, and flooding everywhere. Gemini gonna start a conversation. That's Gemini. They gonna start that conversation. You know, uh, they gonna have fun when everything's flooding, when it's raining and flooding. Hey, Gemini gonna have a good time with it. Gemini gonna do some backflips and you know what I'm saying, and swim and and laugh at the same time. So you know, uh, Gemini is also known for being highly creative signs who love expressing themselves through art or music. Many famous people in history possessed Gemini traits, such as Shakespeare, Walt Disney, even Da Vinci himself. So there you have it. One sign is more intellectual, the other is more creative. Now that you know the differences between signs, remember not to judge them too harshly because they are both sign affairs that are worth your time. Mm. Well, that concludes that. Like this video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. You know, Geminis, there's a lot of creative Geminis. Uh, you know, but Geminis are creative, and they do what they do. Shout out to the Geminis. You know what I'm saying? But it's still a Virgo thing at the end of the day. So I'm gonna keep it like that. I'm keeping it thou wow. So, all right. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. Let me know who's your favorite Gemini. Let me know who's your favorite Virgo. Let me know what you think about both Gemini and Virgo. Alright? I'm signing out. Peace. Follow me on social medias. Swish your dreams.